There are people in your life right now who smile at you while secretly hoping you fall. They shake your hand while quietly measuring your weakness. They laugh with you while wishing your next step would be the one that breaks you. This is not paranoia. This is reality. Machiavelli understood it centuries ago, and the world has not changed since. Human nature did not become kinder. It only became better disguised. People did not stop hiding hatred. They simply learned how to dress it in manners, politeness, and strategic smiles. The masks became sharper, the knives became invisible, but the malice remained. And you cannot defend yourself against an enemy you refuse to see. You cannot protect your peace from a threat you keep romanticizing. So today, the mask comes off. Today, you are going to see 7 signs that reveal when someone secretly dislikes you, but is too cowardly, too calculating, or too manipulative to admit it openly. Watch closely, learn coldly. And if you want to train your mind to read people with more precision, stay with me until the end, because this knowledge can change the way you move forever. Sign number 1, the delayed response. Most people miss this because they still judge others by words instead of patterns. But patterns never lie. When someone truly values you, they respond with a certain energy. Not because they are desperate, but because your presence registers in their mind as something important. You matter enough to be answered. You matter enough to be answered. You matter enough to be acknowledged. Now watch what happens when someone secretly resents you. Your message sits unanswered. Hours pass, sometimes days, and when the response finally arrives, it is cold, dry, and empty. It carries the energy of obligation, not interest. It feels like they replied because they had to, not because they wanted to. Of course, they will always have an excuse ready. They were busy. They forgot. They did not see it. Life became chaotic, but that is where weak people get deceived. They focus on the explanation. Strong people focus on the pattern. A busy person will still make time for what matters. A person who values you may be delayed once, maybe twice, but a person who quietly dislikes you will repeatedly make you feel like a burden. This is not about being needy. This is about understanding human priority. Time is the most honest currency in existence. People spend it where their heart is invested, and they ration it ruthlessly where it is not. So when someone consistently makes you wait, they are speaking to you in a language far louder than words. They are telling you that responding to you feels like a task. They are telling you your presence drains them. They are telling you exactly where you stand. The weak man ignores this. He explains it away. He tells himself it means nothing. He clings to hope because the truth hurts. But you are not here to stay blind. You are here to become precise. So watch the rhythm, watch the delay, watch how fast they respond to others compared to you. A late reply once is human. A late reply again and again is a quiet declaration of distance, indifference, or hidden hostility. Believe the pattern, not the excuse. Sign number 2, the hollow compliment. This is where clever enemies hide in plain sight. Someone praises you. They say you did well. They say they admire what you built. They say they are happy for you. And for a moment, it feels good. For a moment, you think they support you. But listen more carefully. A real compliment has weight. It has detail. It has life in it. A sincere person notices something specific. They tell you what impressed them. They name the quality, the effort, the discipline, the courage, the intelligence. A hollow compliment is different. It sounds pleasant, but it evaporates the second you examine it. Good for you. That's nice. I'm happy for you. Empty phrases, soft sounds, dead energy. No real warmth, no real engagement. Just enough praise to keep suspicion asleep. That is the strategy. because silence would expose them. If they said nothing, you might feel their envy. If they looked too cold, you might sense their resentment. So instead, they offer you a compliment with no soul in it, a sentence with no blood inside it, just enough to maintain the mask. Machiavelli understood that deception works because people are often eager to believe what comforts them, and a hollow compliment is comfort disguised as support. It is bait for the emotionally hungry. It is a performance meant to keep you blind while the real emotion remains buried underneath. So start listening beyond the sentence. Pay attention to tone. Pay attention to the eyes. Pay attention to whether their face lights up or shuts down when they speak well of you. Does their voice carry energy, or does it sound like they are reciting lines they do not believe? Do they celebrate your success or merely tolerate it? The one who truly respects you will make you feel their sincerity. The one who secretly dislikes you will give you fog, a vague sentence, a flat tone, a compliment that feels more like social obligation than genuine admiration. Do not be fooled by pretty words with empty hearts behind them. Train your ear, sharpen your instincts, because clarity is armor, and the more clearly you hear people, the harder it becomes for them to play you. Sign number 3, the subtle exclusion. This one wounds deeply because it is designed to injure without leaving visible fingerprints. You find out about the gathering after it already happened. You see the photos online. You hear the inside jokes later. You realize there was a room full of laughter, conversation, planning, bonding, and your name never entered the invitation list. Then, when you ask about it, they give you silk-covered lies. They say it happened suddenly. They say they assumed you were busy. They say they did not think you would want to come. But excuses like these are often just polished forms of rejection. The most dangerous enemies are rarely the ones who confront you directly. The most dangerous are the ones who erase you gradually. They do not attack your name in public. They simply stop including you in the spaces where connection is built, where loyalty is strengthened, where status is quietly formed. They do not tell you to leave. They simply stop opening the door. That is why subtle exclusion is so powerful. It creates pain without evidence. It makes you question yourself. It makes you wonder whether you are overthinking. But the truth is simple. Repeated exclusion is never random. In social dynamics, patterns are chosen. When someone constantly leaves you out, forgets your name, omits you from plans, or keeps you outside the circle, they are sending a message. Your presence is not wanted, and the damage is deeper than hurt feelings. Because each time you are excluded, your absence becomes normal. Others begin to stop expecting you. Your relevance starts to fade in the group's mind. You slowly become a ghost at the edge of a room you were once part of. That is not forgetfulness. That is social positioning. Weak people rationalize this. They tell themselves everyone is busy. They say things happen. They say maybe it was nothing. But you are not here to build a weak mind. You are here to see what is happening before it is too late. So notice who keeps the door closed. Notice who always seems to gather without you. Notice where your name disappears. Every exclusion is information. Every missing invitation is a signal. Every room you are quietly kept out of reveals something about how you are viewed. And once you see it, stop begging to be included where your presence is being strategically reduced. Sign number 4, the body that betrays. Words can lie. The mouth is trained. It is disciplined. It follows orders from the strategic mind. But the body is different. The body is a traitor. It leaks truth, even when a person is trying with all their strength to keep the mask in place. Watch the feet. When they speak to you, do their feet point toward you, or do they angle away toward the exit? That small detail reveals more than most people will ever understand. The feet show where the mind wants to go. If their body is already turned away, then part of them has already left the interaction. They may still be standing in front of you, still smiling, still pretending to listen, but inwardly they are already withdrawing. Look at the arms. Crossed arms are not always innocent. Sometimes they are a shield. Sometimes they are a wall. Sometimes they are the body trying to create distance when the person does not have the courage to say what they really feel. When someone closes themselves off while speaking to you, do not dismiss it too quickly. The chest protects what the mouth hides. Study the eyes. The eyes never learned how to lie as well as the tongue did. A person who respects you holds eye contact with warmth, presence, and ease. A person who secretly resents you will either avoid your gaze entirely or look through you as if you are not even there. Then there are the micro-expressions. The tightening of the jaw when you begin to speak. The slight flare of the nostrils when you share good news. The split-second flash of contempt before the smile returns. These tiny cracks in the mask are where truth escapes. They happen fast, but not too fast for a sharp mind. Most people go through life blind to all of this. They listen only to words. They accept smiles at face value. They let themselves be hypnotized by politeness. But you are not here to remain blind. You are here to sharpen perception until it becomes a weapon. Let no gesture go unnoticed. Let no posture slip past your awareness. The body speaks a language older than words, older than manners, older than strategy itself. The flesh does not lie, only the mouth does. Trust accordingly. Sign number 5, the effort imbalance. This is the silent killer of dignity. This is how hidden resentment survives for months, sometimes years, without ever exposing itself directly. Ask yourself one brutal question. Who is carrying the relationship? Who reaches out first? Who initiates the conversations? Who remembers the birthdays, the important dates, the details, the follow-ups, the plans? Who is doing the emotional labor of keeping the connection alive? If the answer is always you, then stop calling it a relationship. It is not a bond. It is not loyalty. It is a performance. And the worst part is that the other person does not even care enough to applaud. A person who truly values you meets your effort with their own. They reach out without being prompted. They make time without being begged. They show up without being chased. But when someone secretly dislikes you, they let you do all the work. They watch you strain. They watch you keep things alive. They allow you to spend energy on something they have already abandoned in their heart. And that is what makes this so cold. It is not always laziness. Often it is calculation. They keep you close enough to use, close enough to benefit from, close enough to access when convenient. But they give almost nothing back. You become a backup option, a resource, a source of validation, a familiar tool they can reach for when they need something. And because they never openly reject you, you keep hoping, you keep investing, you keep trying to revive something that only exists because you refuse to stop breathing life into it. This is where many people lose themselves, not because they were weak at the beginning, but because repeated one-sided effort erodes dignity. It teaches you to overextend. It conditions you to accept crumbs as connection. It makes you feel guilty for wanting reciprocity. But there is nothing needy about expecting balance. There is nothing selfish about refusing to be drained by people who contribute nothing. So stop measuring people by what they say they feel. Measure them by what they are willing to invest. Who sacrifices for you? Who shows up when it is inconvenient? Who makes an effort even when there is no obvious reward waiting on the other side? Those are the people who value you. Everyone else is simply managing you. They are keeping you in orbit. They are using your consistency to support their own comfort, while offering nothing of equal weight in return. Once you see this clearly, your power begins to return. You stop chasing. You stop overgiving. You stop pouring yourself into empty vessels that only echo when you call their name. Redirect that energy. Give it to people who match it. Or better yet, give it back to yourself. Build your discipline. Build your standards. Build your life until your effort is no longer available to anyone who has not earned it. Effort reveals truth. It always has. It always will. Watch who gives. Watch who takes. The ledger never lies. Sign number 6, the public undermining. This is where hidden hatred becomes elegant. It does not arrive as an obvious insult. It does not storm into the room with open aggression. No, this kind of attack is refined. It comes disguised as humor, as honesty, as a harmless little joke, as concern, as playful teasing. And while everyone around you laughs, something far more dangerous is taking place. The person who secretly despises you waits for an audience. That is what makes this sign so revealing. They do not attack when you are alone. They wait until other eyes are watching. Then they make the comment. The little jab, the joke that lowers your status by just enough to be felt, but not enough to be openly condemned. They frame your weakness as entertainment. They expose your flaw under the cover of charm. They make you look smaller while preserving their own innocence. And if you react, they already have the defense prepared. I was just joking. You're too sensitive. Relax. That is the beauty of the tactic. It injures you while making your pain look irrational. It gives them plausible deniability while planting doubt in the minds of everyone watching. This is not accidental. This is social warfare. When someone respects you, they protect your dignity in public. They do not use the room to score points at your expense. They do not disguise contempt as comedy. They do not test how far they can cut you while hiding behind a smile. But a hidden enemy does exactly that. They understand that power is often shaped socially. So they do not just want to hurt you. They want to shrink you in the eyes of others. Watch carefully for this. Notice who always seems funniest when the joke is about you. Notice who becomes bold only when other people are around. Notice who frames insults as banter and disrespect as honesty. That person is not playing. That person is positioning. And the most dangerous part is that many victims laugh along. They smile to keep the peace. They swallow the sting. They pretend not to notice because confronting it feels messy. But every time you normalize public disrespect, you teach people how cheaply your dignity can be purchased. Every time you laugh along just to keep the peace, every time you pretend not to notice, every time you swallow the sting and call it nothing, you teach people how cheaply your dignity can be bought. And that is exactly what the public underminer wants. Not your collapse in one dramatic moment, but your gradual reduction, your slow shrinking, your silent agreement to become smaller in the eyes of everyone watching. Do not confuse this with oversensitivity. This has nothing to do with being fragile. It has everything to do with pattern recognition. When the same person repeatedly finds elegant little ways to embarrass you, correct you, expose you, or make you the punchline in front of others, they are not joking. They are hunting. They are dismantling your image one laugh at a time. They are using charm as camouflage while they work. Your response must be disciplined. Do not explode. Do not give them the satisfaction of seeing you lose control. That is exactly what they want. They want the room to turn and see you as unstable while they continue wearing the mask of innocence. So, remain cold, remain observant, take note, build your file, understand what has just happened and who has declared themselves an enemy without ever saying the words aloud. Once you see it, adjust accordingly. Limit what you share with them. Stop feeding them information they can later weaponize. handing them your vulnerabilities and expecting mercy. There is no mercy in hidden contempt. There is only strategy. And when the time comes, remember this: the best revenge is not a louder insult. It is elevation. Quiet, undeniable elevation. Rise so high that their little comments sound desperate. Rise so far that their cheap jokes only expose their own insecurity. Become so grounded in your value that they can no longer move you with the tools that once worked on weaker minds. The public underminer fears your potential. Good. Give them a reason to. Sign number 7. The strategic distance. This is the most calculated move of all because it is the cleanest. It leaves no obvious wound, no dramatic betrayal, no scene anyone can point to. And that is precisely why it is so dangerous. The person who secretly dislikes you but cannot afford to show it will not always attack. Sometimes they retreat. Slowly, quietly, with surgical patience. They do not disappear all at once. That would be too obvious. That would create questions they do not want to answer. Instead, they engineer a measured withdrawal. A retreat so gradual that you are tempted to doubt your own perception. One day the conversations are shorter. Another day the invitations become rarer. Then the energy changes. The warmth that once felt natural cools into something polished, distant, and hollow. This is not random. This is architecture. They are building a wall between you and them, one brick at a time, all while smiling as if nothing has changed. Machiavelli understood that the most effective betrayals are rarely sudden. A sudden break shocks the victim awake. A slow fade lulls him to sleep. The person creating strategic distance is depending on your denial. They are counting on you to rationalize it, to tell yourself people get busy, to tell yourself relationships evolve, to tell yourself nothing is wrong. And while you comfort yourself with those lies, they complete their exit. The connection you thought existed is being dismantled while you are still standing there, holding the blueprint of something that no longer lives. So watch the patterns. The person who once opened up to you now speaks only in shallow updates. The one who once sought your company now always has somewhere else to be. The one who leaned in now leans away. They maintain just enough contact to avoid confrontation, but not enough to sustain any real bond. That is not confusion. That is emotional abandonment, executed with patience. They want you removed from their inner circle, but they lack the courage to say it directly. They want the benefits of ending the relationship without paying the social cost of being seen as the one who ended it. So they make you feel the distance and hope you will do their work for them. They hope you will stop reaching out. They hope you will get the message without them ever having to speak it. This is cowardice dressed as sophistication. The untouchable man does not beg for clarity in moments like this. He does not chase someone who is clearly retreating. He does not throw his dignity at a closing door. He reads the battlefield, adjusts his position, and moves accordingly. If someone is creating distance, you do not rush in to close it. You match it. You mirror it. You withdraw your own investment and redirect it toward people who actually want your presence. Never cling to someone who is engineering their own escape. Let them go, but let them go on your terms. Let them wonder whether you saw through them much earlier than they expected. Let them feel the discomfort of realizing that their slow fade was not met with desperation, but with silence, with self-respect, with indifference. The man who masters this response becomes difficult to manipulate because he has conquered the most dangerous craving of all, the need to be wanted by those who do not want him. Destroy that need, burn it down completely, and watch what happens to your power. Watch how much energy returns to you when you stop handing it to people who are already halfway out the door. Strategic distance is their weapon. Strategic acceptance is yours. They chose to drift away. You choose not to chase. And in that choice, you reclaim everything they were quietly draining from you. Your dignity, your energy, your center, your throne. Now you have what most people will never possess. Clarity, vision, the ability to see through masks that others spend years perfecting. The 7 signs are now in front of you. The delayed response, the hollow compliment, the subtle exclusion, the body that betrays, the effort imbalance, the public undermining, the strategic distance. These are your new lenses. Wear them daily. But understand this, knowledge without action is decoration. Seeing the game is not enough. You must respond with discipline. Do not confront emotionally. Do not beg for explanations from people who survive by giving lies attractive clothing. Observe in silence. Adjust without announcement. Protect your energy like it is gold, because it is. Redirect that energy toward your own rise. Let your discipline become your answer. Let your success become the loudest response to every hidden enemy. You are no longer blind. You are no longer naive. You are becoming untouchable. If this message ignited something inside you, write in the comments, "The mask no longer works on me." Let that be your declaration. And if you want more weapons forged for your mind, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next lesson. The game of power never stops, neither should your education. Stay cold, stay sharp, rise alone.